there's a word for that.
Cunning.
Cunning, yeah. He's cunning.
Very.
So, cunnilingus. That's all I could think of in my head. Yeah, he's... that was messed up. But he... All right. Woo. Hello, and thank you for listening and watching to your favorite podcast. This is the Maximum Filipino Show. Welcome back, and nice seeing you. I hope you've been enjoying listening to our podcast. Right now, we're doing Afterflicks. This is Loki, Chapter 2, or Episode 2. Not Chapter 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yes.
We watched Loki, Episode 2, like 2 days ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of 2s in here. And it's not 2 o'clock in the morning, surprisingly. But yeah, we're doing this podcast. It's not planned, and we hope you guys enjoy it. We're talking about Loki episode 2. That episode was really interesting, and I think we mentioned this in the previous podcast. We decided to do Loki because there's a lot of things compared to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where there's not really a lot of hints or Easter eggs in there. But just like WandaVision, there's like some hints of characters and some of the Easter egg characters that they showed in there. So it's worth podcasting. And we're not saying that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not worth podcasting. It's just, I don't know. It's a spy movie. It is good, but I just didn't feel like. I feel like it's obvious, you know what I mean? Like most of the things that's in there is like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, Dora showed up, not the one with the backpack and map. I hope you got that joke, but it's more stronger character. But there's not really any Easter eggs, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think there was any.
Yeah, the super soldier black guy was one of them, and then Zemo. But that's about it compared to this one. Anyway, what do you think about the second episode?
I think it answered some of our questions about a lot of things, and interesting how Loki changes how his personality here has made him different than all the movies portrayed him to be.
Yeah. Did you know that there's another did you know? This did you know thing is getting popular in TikTok. There's a lot of did you know videos. And one of our videos that are did you know made a dent. I don't want to say dent. A lot of interaction in it. So did you know is a kind of popular thing. But I saw this on TikTok. But did you know that? So we're trying to figure out where is TVA, right? Like we have no idea where TVA is. Right. And they kept mentioning over and over again, especially Mobius kept saying that time is not the same thing in here. Right? Time is not the same thing in TVA, right? He kept saying that over and over again. So we don't know. So the place gotta be in the whole TVA has gotta be in a place where time is irrelevant or time is not a consistent thing. You know what I mean? So in Ant-Man and the Wasp, when Ant-Man went to the quantum realm,
yes.
Right? I know I'm gonna rush this, and then that's why I do it right now, and then we're done.
No, I'm not okay with this.
So in the quantum realm, they in one glimpse of it, you'll see a city in the quantum realm.
Really?
And they said to be that is TVA. It's not confirmed yet, but that's what they're saying.
I didn't see that, but
that
could be it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And because the time in the quantum realm is not the same. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant. That's why, what's his name? Lang, or Ant-Man, was in the quantum realm for 5 hours. He thought it was just 5 hours, but in the real world, it was 5 years, and he ended up in the end game.
Right. Okay.
So they're saying that TVA is in the quantum realm. Another thing is Kang the Conqueror, which is another big villain. So I think this is the next phase for the MCU after Thanos.
Ooh.
It's Kang the Conqueror, and they said it's not confirmed yet, but they said one of the timekeeper It's Kang the Conqueror.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
King, is it King Kang or
Kang. Kang.
King?
Yeah,
Kong,
not
King,
like
Kang.
Liu Kang, something like that. But he is one of the. So it messed up. There's in the comic books they said that the Avengers, because of the end game. I don't know if it's because of it's from the comic books, but because of the end game, the time traveling thing is all messed up, right? The whole timeline, the whole multiverse is messed up because of the Avengers going back in time,
Going back and forth.
and that messed up the whole Kang's whole timeline, whole universe. That's why he's avenging and attacking the Avengers.
So this Kang is not the same as the Timekeepers.
No. So a lot of theories was Kang the Conqueror is one of the
Timekeepers.
Yeah.
King, for some reason, the name King sounds like a barbarian. Like when you say King the Conqueror, I'm thinking about that one Conan.
Conan, yeah.
yeah.
Kang, yeah. Or King Kang. No,
King
that's
Kang,
too far.
King
Too far. A lot of things that confirmation, and you called it. Well, I think we're both right in a way. One of the things that you were right, and I kept saying that we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet if that's the truth. We found our female Loki.
Yes, I mean you brought it up. It was a theory that I'm not sure, but yeah, you brought it up first, and I happened. And when you planted that seed in my mind, I've been looking at the silhouette. I was like, "There's some feminine movement here. It has to be a female Loki."
Yeah. But the female Loki, wasn't she blonde?
Yes.
So it's like
She was like
a different.
She reminded me of the one of Arthur's Thor's group. His the blonde boy Playboy, just a female version.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but what I called is there are multiple different kinds of Loki that they encountered.
Yeah, and they did mention it in there. They were referring that the variant, it's not all the same. There was even one that looked like a beast when they were flipping through
Yeah,
the
I'm
scenes.
talking about in the second episode because we don't know that in the first episode.
Right.
We thought he was the only Loki and besides the main variant, and we didn't even know if Mobius was telling the truth that it was Loki. You know.
Right. Yeah, we didn't know.
But they mentioned that there's a different kinds of Loki that they encountered. Hence why I think they were a little uncomfortable for Loki to get away because they know, oh, this is just another Loki that they encountered. Because it might have happened before. They recruited another Loki version, and this Loki ended up dying or resetting. So now Mobius tried this next Loki. And then another thing that I called, kind of, not really, so partially, because I said by the end, and I still believe this, by the end of this series, the whole multiverse and the sacred timeline will be ruined. So we kind of have the glimpse of that right now.
I think that this Loki was the current Loki we know. Because the Loki we know now had no clue about the TVA. However, this female Loki, she knew about the TVA bombs and all this and all that. She knew about the doors. I think she has some kind of relationship with TVA. I mean, you know how you said they keep switching off with Loki?
Yeah.
I have a feeling this Loki is one of those theories that you have. Because think about it. The Loki we know did not know about the Timekeepers, the sacred timeline. And the Loki that they're chasing, she knew everything that what was going on. She knew when the Minutemen will come in, and she will, somehow she has a way, but she is aware of TVA compared to the Loki we know now.
Yeah, well, because this Loki has been around longer than this Loki. So we don't know if she, you might be right that she already part of the TVA, or she's already aware of it, or she just learned it through the time of attacking them and being with them. Because remember, and Mobius kind of answered my question. It's funny because I was thinking about this question, and then Mobius answered it when Loki asked him, why can't we just go in the time were before the attack, you know, and Mobius said, well, that's going to ruin the multiverse because we want to make sure that it's just one, you know, in real time. We're doing this real time because if we don't, it's going to ruin the multiverse, you know, the sacred verse.
Specifically the Nexus.
Right.
Yes.
So I think what the female Loki is doing is he's going back. So he will be in this area, right, and get defeated by Minutemen, and then he will go back in time before that happened, and then do the attack again. You know what I'm saying? Like she will do it over and over again till she succeeds.
Probably. I mean, right now that you brought it up, I mean, what is the difference of going back in time and resetting the time? The bomb they have is meant to reset the time, but wouldn't it be this just the same? Well, I guess not, because it doesn't. But
she never uses the bomb until that last
moment.
Part. Yeah. And there was a video that I saw. I didn't see it. Okay, I didn't see it. I just read the caption. I was tempted to watch it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. There was a scene where it's showing the areas or the places where she dropped the bomb. So the bomb is not just in one area; it's multiple areas or multiple time in the in the sacred.
In that little office where they all just saw the timeline, like the timeline is broken. The sacred timeline is broken.
Right. Because what's happening, I think it's she will drop the bomb there, explode, and then just change everything.
Right.
You know, pan out to every different kind of multiverse.
That was crazy. The timeline is broken. I'm trying to think, why is there any other word that they could have used?
Right.
But anyway, yeah, you're right. Throwing the bombs in different timelines, blowing it up, you know, messing things up.
You know what I think though? What I think is when we watch this video and then a lot of videos that I've seen on TikTok, I feel like if Disney will troll us again, like what they did with Mephisto, Kang the Conqueror will be their troll character. Where people are talking about, oh, Kang the Conqueror will be here, Kang the Conqueror will show up, you know, and then by the end of this season, nothing happened. You know, Kang won't show up. It's
actually another villain that comes out. Or
right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I like the, or it might just be female Loki, the main villain of this, you know, not Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, just like in WandaVision, it was, what's the chick's name? Grace Greek.
Yeah, the purple chick. Yeah, which is funny because the bomb turns purple. You know.
Yeah, you brought that up.
No, we saw that in the video, like the.
Oh yes, right. In one of the videos that we saw in their review, who uses the purple? It's the.
Because Wanda's red, Scarlet Witch is red, and then the other witch was purple.
Did they reference her as the power, or did they reference
so
the
there's
stone?
There's a lot of characters in the MCU that's when it's villain, it's purple. You know, like you have that witch. We have Dormammu is purple.
True.
You know what I mean? And there's what's his name? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Purple, the villain?
Yeah, the villain's purple too.
One or two?
The first one. I thought it was purple.
That
Ronan. Yeah, I thought it was purple. It might have been the Power Stone is purple.
It's the Power Stone.
Yeah, okay.
Because after his name took it, Star-Lord, I forgot the main character. Star-Lord, when he held, everything went purple.
Yeah. But yeah, so there are some characters in there that are purple, and in this, I don't think there's any main significance with the purple bomb. I think it's just to reset something. I think it's just color coding, basically.
Maybe, yeah. It was probably a far-fetched, but maybe.
Yeah.
Now, this female Loki, this might sound a bit sexist. I really think she's a bit crafty, more craftier than the Loki we know now.
You know, okay, so a lot of shows when it's the female or the sister is smarter and craftier and better than the main version, not the main version, but the male counterpart or the brother. So one of the best example is what is that? Sherlock Holmes. Holmes by I don't think you've seen it.
Ella Holmes or Elm, the female chick that Disney's original.
Yeah, I'm talking about these. No, not that. The Benedict Cumberbatch version.
Oh,
the Holmes. Their sister in the last season was the smartest. Like she's smarter than Sherlock and his brother. She's just the smarter. Hela is another example.
Hela being
Thor and Loki. You know, like the sister is stronger than both of them.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes the women are more
The female
the
counterpart.
counterpart or character
Is
may
stronger.
be stronger. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the same way with this Loki, female Loki.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And only because she's a lady, and ladies are very crafty with their schemes.
Yeah. And her ability is kind of different than Loki, huh? Kind of, in a way.
No. Oh, yes, you're right. Because what she was doing, she was swapping bodies. I think she sent. I mean, this is just a theory. I'm assuming she's sending her thoughts and wavelengths from one being to another while she's doing something else. Like
Right.
basically, she's just transferring her thoughts in another's body and being the speaker. Like God. Yeah, anyway.
Which kind of threw me off because I thought it would have been it would have been a crazier plot twist if the Minute Woman, the black girl, was the Loki.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
'Cause
got
that
me.
I know that threw me off.
I was like, why did the enemy touch her? And I saw power going
Right.
from the enemy.
No,
or-
I thought the black girl, as
Had
soon
some
as
kind of
the
magnet.
regular, like the guy was just a regular guy, and then when he touched her, he just
Yeah.
fainted. Like that. That's why I thought, oh wow, this is a great plot twist. She is the female Loki.
I know,
and I was
right?
like, oh wait, it's not.
No, it's her
It's not.
ability.
Yeah, it's not.
But it was pretty misleading.
Was
at
it
the
still
moment.
green?
Yeah. When
Really?
when the power transferred over, it turned green.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Loki is green. That's
Yeah.
that's his color.
Mm,
Yeah, green and gold specifically.
ish with the horns. Because she had baby horns when she had it.
Right. I'm talking about Loki itself. I think his,
His
color is
magic, as they call it, his magic color is green.
yeah, and gold. Because remember, we saw this in the video from Ranker. If you're wondering what video we watch, we usually do this. What we do is we do the podcast and then we watch an episode from
video,
Ranker.
yes.
Some Easter eggs that they show in there, and in Marvel when they show the Marvel logo in the beginning of the show, it's green and then with gold shade when it passed by.
Right.
So that's the color of Loki. Because green is mainly Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Green is Hulk. But if you have green and gold shade, that's Loki.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. Okay, that makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
At one point in the show, I really thought that the so-called R Slayer, the black R Slayer chick, that's the nickname, but her name is Ravina. I think she's an undercover timekeeper. She's the one that played Judge when.
Oh, you think she's a timekeeper?
I at some point, because I'm trying to think like this guy. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's coming in parts so many times, but her room portrays that she was one of the Minutemen and she just got promoted and now she's just sitting in the office.
Or what if it's Mobius?
You think so, Mobius?
Yeah. Ooh.
At some point, I thought it was Mobius.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that Mobius works and talks, maybe it's just, misleading everyone just so they can stay away. Because you remember how they had Loki and Mobius were having some kind of philosophy or theological conversation. I was thinking about, man, that just reminds me of having a debate back in our college times.
Right. In the cafeteria? Because they were in the cafeteria. Yeah.
Exactly. They
in
were
the library.
Yeah, they were battling out their thoughts. I think I thought Mobius was one of them, but I really think he isn't. Because he keeps going to Ravina. That's her name, the judge. But I really think Ravina is a, undercover timekeeper.
Maybe. That can be your take. That could be your
just my take.
Yeah, do that as a take.
It's a cold take. Not a hot take, but a cold take.
Oh, so what I love in this show so far, the first and second episode, is just the casual conversation that they're having.
Yeah.
Just them two. It pulls you out of the idea that it's just a show. It's like this is like watching a YouTube video of two people talking. It makes like a unscripted reality show
between Mobius and Loki.
And Loki, yeah, because it's evident in the first episode. And now in the second episode, when they're having that conversation in the library in the cafeteria, and when he like grab his food, it's like, yo, I'm still eating that.
Yeah.
And then grab Casey's stuff.
But I think that's more of his character.
Right. It feels like. It seems like it's so unscripted. Like, I'm not surprised if it's unscripted, and I'm also not surprised if it's scripted, because those two are great, great actors. And this is why I think, remember my predicament before that when it's a big name, when it's a big name,
yeah,
gives a big character. I know it's not fairly true when it comes to MCU, because if you go to Thor Ragnarok, three of the main characters or big names made a cameo in the show, but they're just nothing. You have who's Born Legacy? Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth's brother doing the play of Loki and Thor.
Oh, that's right. There's a few characters in there, and they also included the guy that played in, I don't know if you've seen that old dinosaur movie with Jurassic Park, way before Jurassic World. Yeah. It's the old man that played in both one and not the old white. Well, they're both white.
Yeah, the older guy. Yeah.
The one
was it the doctor?
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah.
He also played in it. He was I think he played as
Odin.
Yeah.
So it's not fairly always true, but having Owen Wilson in there makes you think that, man, I wonder if he's gonna play a big role. You know what I mean? It's like that. Crap. Now it's bothering me. What's her name? WandaVision, the other witch.
Magneto, Magnus, Margarina.
No, because I think the way I remember it is the song, the all along or something like that.
I think I have her name. Agatha.
It's not even close with your Magnus. But Agatha, she's a big name and she's just playing a supporting actor. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mobius' character is a big character.
Wait, her as an actress?
Agatha.
She's a very okay. I'm not really familiar with her.
Yeah, she's a bigger actress. But I mean, a Mobius character in this show is a big name. Don't get me wrong. But I won't be surprised if he's like a bigger character in the whole Marvel universe.
Probably. I mean, so far he's Loki. It's those two, the dynamic duo. Speaking of Loki and those two working together, it's just really bothering me that this character Loki is really ringing along with the whole concept of working in TVA. And it's what I mean is that we have this one Loki in the Marvel movies where he is like the baddest guy ever, causing a ruckus here and there, but here he is actually doing some kind of good, though behind the scenes he's actually trying to do something evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't imagine Loki really digging in paperwork. He's a god, and now he's just dumbed down to doing paperwork and looking at all these other stuff.
No, because the whole MCU movies, it took them two movies. It took Loki 2 movies for him to be a good guy, and that was Endgame when he died. You know what I mean? Like the Dark World, Thor Dark World. We thought he was a good guy, and then he backstabbed
because he's not really dead.
Yeah, he's not really dead. And then Ragnarok is the same way. You know what I mean? So it's like it took him 2 movies. Now, this is why I think he didn't really change at all, or he had that little bit of like still gutsy moves, like the pride of being a god. You know what I mean? We watched this on a video in the first episode from Ranker when he was watching that death from Thanos, and he said, "You will never be a god." In their perspective, in their point of view, the Loki in the Endgame is talking to not to Thanos but to Loki, that you will never be a god. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he's telling him from the future that you will never be a god, so don't try to be a god.
I see.
Just try to be Loki. So yeah. So I don't think that. Hence why I think he didn't really change. At least not yet.
So he's playing a part, or
yeah,
he's living up to his name, the mischievous guy.
Right.
Which I'm surprised that they really put too much. I mean, if we're gonna rely on or mainly consider Loki is still the mischievous god, I'm surprised how much they trust him to have his power still. Because now that he's out of TVA, his magic works.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, but it's been like that since Avengers, Thor: Dark World, and Ragnarok. I'm talking about he doesn't take it advantage right away. He takes moments. He find opportunities and opening for him to do what he needs to do. Exactly, because he's mischief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he knows he's smart. He's not clever. There's a word for that.
Cunning.
Yeah, he's cunning.
Very.
So cunnilingus. That's all I could think of in my head. Yeah, he's I was messed up, but he's cunning. So he knows what step to do.
Yes.
But Mobius is smarter than him, because it's like when he told Mobius, "I'm 10 steps ahead of you," and then Mobius said, "So what? You're gonna go and talk to the Timekeeper and try to convince them and then overpower them?" And then Loki's face like, "Oh. Crap, he knows my plan. What in the world?" So the we can see a little bit of changes that's happening to him. Maybe at least his facial expression.
Right.
Towards the end, when the other Loki left. And then Mobius is yelling at him, "Loki, stop, don't." And then you see the look in his face like, "I'm sorry, I have to do this. Like I have to save someone or stop this girl. So I'm not going to listen to you. Because if I stop right now and talk and explain to you what I'm going to do, this whole thing's going to close. So I need to go." That kind of thing. Like I have no time to explain to you, but just wait and trust me. You know what I mean? So he followed her. But I think the female Loki wants Loki to follow her.
I think so. I mean, these two, in a way, think alike, though. Again, I think she's more cunning and more clever than the current Loki we all know, the variant that we all know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
One of my favorite scenes, and we both laughed at this, when Mobius gave him his weapon. It's like, "Here you go." And he said, "Yes." And then the female one's like, "Not." What'd he say? What'd she say? Absolutely not. She
yes,
said
absolutely not,
and grabbed it and put it in the locker. I'm like, what? That was so funny. Like that part doesn't seem like it's scripted. Like it was so natural, it's so organic. They did it so organically that it's like, oh my gosh, that was so good.
It was funny.
That was good. So good.
That was really good. Speaking of actors or actress, I don't know if you how you notice how in the very opening of the show that the character that was used as betraying the Minutemen. I think I know this girl. Where is she from? Okay, so basically, she's another actress that I happened to watch that you didn't even touch watching, from Utopia.
Oh yeah,
and she still had her dreadlocks too. I was like, maybe that's her real hair.
She kind of reminds me of the chick in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the ghost girl.
I think the ghost girl was much prettier. I think I liked her eyes. That's why.
Oh yeah, because her eyes are a lot lighter.
Yeah,
eyes are a lot lighter
compared to this dreadlock. Chick.
Now, what she kept saying, it's true.
Yeah,
like, it's true. It's true.
And
but we don't know. We don't know what that true is, because Mobius was asking her.
Part of me think that these guys who are being manipulated by the female Loki, some of the memory or some of her thoughts or feelings are also sent into her in a way, because the look on the Minuteman black chick when she woke up, I thought she had a similar realization of something.
Yeah.
But she just went along. I mean, like, oh, maybe I was wrong of what she was realizing. But I have a feeling that the black girl knows something, just as the one that was kidnapped from the beginning.
Yeah, we might know that on the next episode.
I think so too.
It's like I want to know what it's
There's a lot
saying.
of dead airs
So
here.
I think with the video that we watched from Ranker, they saying that from the comic books, the Timekeepers are just sending propagandas. So what they're doing is just controlling everything, and they actually caused the multiverse war or something like that. So the whole thing is just propaganda. So what if that girl, Loki, because of Loki, she realized that it's true. The whole thing is just propaganda. This is not like a real thing. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, we are not protecting the sacred timeline. They are just controlling us or something. I don't know.
Probably.
But with the conversation between Mobius, and this confirmed our conversation from the last podcast, they were born or created in the TVA. Mobius is not a human being, at least based on what he said in that conversation. Like, we never know. They might have been kidnapped from Earth and
then
brainwashed.
they got brainwashed.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
But Mobius said that they were from there, or they were created there in TVA.
So they're beings from the... I mean, I guess we call humans those who are from Earth. They are more humanoid from another universe.
What we're called terrain. Terrain?
Terrain. Terrain. No, you're right. Terrain or Terran.
Yeah.
When we were watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or what, 1.
No, we didn't get that from there.
Well, in a lot of anime.
Shout out to StarCraft.
And that too.
That's where we heard it the first time. Let's be honest.
Okay, that's true. StarCraft, I heard it from there first, and then also all these anime mangas and so forth.
Yeah. But it was definitely StarCraft and human beings, because there's human aliens, and then there's another different kinds of aliens that's not, because there's aliens that are gruesome, right? They're gruesome looking. They're like worms and stuff.
Yes, aliens of other
Yeah, and then there's another alien that's just bright color or something. I don't know, like greenish.
Quite the
yellowish.
Imagination of humankind, isn't it?
Right.
Like, we don't even know what they really look like in these.
Was there only 3 groups, 3 options? I thought there were 4
What do you mean?
in StarCraft.
There's only 3. There was the Terran or whatever. The
worm ones.
Yeah, the creatures that look like some kind of
insects,
and then the other one that looks more noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have gold and all that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking at my notes trying to read it, so it would be a lot better than the last podcast. I didn't really do much. I pretty much said what I said. I just enjoyed the show. That just kind of answered some things that we questioned in episode 1, and it's still building up the climax on the show. So far, I'm enjoying it.
Did you and this is just a question for conversation. Did you get why they went to Pompeii and that whole dilemma and that whole? Okay,
I totally understand. It was basically to prove Loki's happiness point. Like, he didn't want to go back to Ragnarok, and because Mobius was just still doubtful about Loki, and who isn't? Loki is the god of mischief. So what he wanted to prove is that only during the apocalyptic events in the timeline, nothing would change. And I thought in my head that's pretty obvious, because the apocalyptic event is so big, and if there's a lot of death, and it wouldn't change a thing. This movie reminds me of another show called DC Legends. It's a show. Basically, there's a good guy that turned to a bad guy.
I'm talking about Legends of Tomorrow.
And DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched it sometime back, way back. And there's this enemy guy that he will look at his enemy, and if killing him will cause an effect to the timeline, he wouldn't hurt him. So he will look at the enemy and see that he's a small fry. I'm like, yeah, you're dead. Kills him right away. So the reason why I'm bringing that is that the apocalyptic event, it's so big that whatever small seeds that you drop in there, it won't change the fact that death or destruction will happen, because it's so wide.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah. That's why female Loki will go there, because no matter what you do, especially if you go there on the day that's happening, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not the day before, the day it's happening. You can kill as many people as you want. You can do whatever you want, but it won't change.
It won't change a single thing.
It won't show any nexus in the sacred timeline.
And Mobius was like shocked.
Yeah. Because he was doing a bunch of things, like Loki was talking
in their language, telling them about this and
the
that.
end of the world is happening, but he's looking at the watch or the whatever that device is, like, nothing's happening. Well, yeah, duh, of course nothing's gonna happen, because none of his action that he's doing right now will stop the apocalypse.
Correct.
Now, if they go there the day before and tell people and they all moved, then there will be a nexus going on. Yeah.
Then it proves my point that this chick, she knows.
Yeah. But think about this, right? So if you think that she knows, but Loki also figured it out.
Well,
we have to remember that
Loki. Okay, so Loki just got brought in, but then it goes back. Like, take it back, because it goes back to what you said about Mobius have done this before, and then you go back to Ravina, the judge, talking to Mobius, like, if you're thinking of doing what I know you're thinking that you're doing, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It just, they done it before, and I guarantee it's this Loki. And
are you talking about our Loki will turn to a female Loki?
No, I would guarantee that the female Loki was brought in as a variant, and
I don't think so. That would be my claim. I don't think so.
Because
it's a
the
high possibility, though. It is a high possibility.
I really think so.
Because think about it. If she was brought us like that, they would have figured it out. Mobius would have figured it out.
Well,
Her going to apocalyptic places. You know what I mean?
well, she must have dipped out and whatever after knowing the truth about TVA, because you know how TVA work. They go into the Nexus. Once they fix the problem, they reset the timeline or reset the Nexus.
Yeah.
So as if nothing happened and no one knew that TVA exists. That's why I think she found a way out.
Yeah.
And now she knows. I mean, I don't know. She's probably thinking the way as Loki is thinking, but she's thinking bigger. Because you remember, Loki mentioned to the female Loki that he wants to take over TVA.
Yeah.
But according to her, it's much more bigger. Something even bigger than that. And then...
She stopped, though, you know? Like, she made her think, like, oh, I wonder if I can do this.
It
You know
did.
what I mean?
It did.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, gave me that moment of thinking. But I don't think I knew she was a variant at one point, but I don't think she was recruited.
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she knew she was the variant, and then the fact that she didn't want to die or get hurt, she found a way out.
Because
and
there's no
escaped.
point. There's no point for him to recruit her.
There's no point to recruit any of them.
Well,
But-
there was a point to recruit Loki to
you're
chase the variant.
Okay, that makes sense. But what I mean is that when she was brought in as a variant, she knew, and she found a way out. She must have escaped because she didn't want to die or
Right.
whatever.
Well, that's a possibility. But her being part of the TVA is, I don't think that's a
yeah, you may be
makes
right.
sense.
But I still think she knows about the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
She knows. And not that she's learning, she knows. She knows about the devices. She
Right.
knows about the bomb.
Right. I think because she does not like the timekeepers. I think that's what happened. I don't think she likes the timekeepers.
The way I see it, you know how the spaghetti happened in the time screen?
Mm-hmm.
It reflected back to the explanation of episode 1 about before the timekeepers.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, you know
I'm talking about after the explosion and all the
Yeah.
Nexus? Okay.
all the Nexus
Why do you call
breaking-
it spaghetti?
Because that's the first thing that
Does it
came
look
out.
like spaghetti?
Yeah, because they were red
No.
and white. Anyway, so my bad reference to food with things. Yeah, I lost my train of thought because of that.
Sorry.
I think she wants to bring it back to the beginning. You know how the explanation of TVA, how it started. So I think she's trying to bring it back to before the timekeepers, because the timekeepers were the one who brought all the multiverses
Mm-hmm.
and clamped it into what?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Or she's just trying to destroy TVA.
Maybe, but then that means we'll put it back, because TVA is basically just an organization to organize the timeline. That's what they were.
Okay, so when you say put it, all right, we gotta remember this is Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is Marvel Universe. When you say put it back, you have to make sure that you're talking about put it back the way it was, not going back to where it started.
No, okay, yes, to where there was no control
Just
over
one,
the
or
timeline.
there's just not one, but
It's just
different multiverse. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
More spaghettis in the air.
So I thought about this when I was watching that show.
Mm.
Isn't it crazy that it's a possibility, right, in the MCU, and not just in the MCU but in real life, if TVA exists? Because Loki said, if you guys are popular, how come I've never heard about you? And he said, well, because you didn't have to. You're following what you're supposed to do.
Correct.
Until now. But what if, right? Because they have the bomb that erased it. If that TVA really exists and it's happening right now, we would have known. Like, if we did something that will ruin the Nexus, they will just come here, like right now at this
Right.
point, and then erase it, and we'll go back to this point of time.
Yeah, we'll
where,
never
like,
know it.
we will never know. You know what I mean? And that reminds me of the movie called this one, the
Called this one? Never heard of it.
Adjustment Bureau. Adjustment Bureau is basically the same thing.
Is
yeah.
it the one with what's his name?
It's Matt Damon and Emily
Yes.
Blunt. Yeah. So his guard fell asleep while he's guiding him, because he's supposed to follow this path of his life, like no free will kind of idea.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he fell asleep, so he ended up choosing what is not supposed to happen to his life. So all these people are following him because they want to reset him and go to the same path where he's
Right.
supposed to go. Because once you start seeing these people that means you are not following the path that you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're not following the script.
Yeah.
You're
So I was like, and also MIB, the reset flash.
True.
Because we will never know if. I always think about this when I'm outside. What if the other version of me, let's say, didn't get married or do something else, but I wouldn't have known if. I wouldn't have known because they might have just reset me, and now I'm in this path of what I'm doing right now.
You're supposed to do.
Right. Yeah, because I thought about like when I'm driving, and I was like, what if I go on the side of the road or hit this car? I might have done it. I probably have done it, but now they resetted me and repaired everything, so now I'm back to this same path that I'm doing. You know what I mean? It was like my brain.
I know what you're thinking.
After I watched that Adjustment Bureau, I'm like, that's crazy.
Like things that may have happened in our lives, we just never know,
right?
Because we've just been flashed, like MIB.
Yeah. I think my assumption is they might give you a little hint that it also happened in MCU. Like in all movies, they will show you some clips that are not supposed to happen, and then TVA will show up and cancel that whole thing, and then you know what I mean, like what they did when the first episode of Loki. There are some scenes in there that was in the first Avengers movie, 2012. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't in 2012 Avengers, but it's in here. It's like they reshot that part just for this show, Loki. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like they're gonna do the same thing in this show. They will tell them that TVA's been always a part of the Avengers, like this time, and then they will show you a video.
TVA kind of just the creation or the creativity of the idea of time and controlling time and resetting time. I mean, the resetting time still blows my mind because when you reset time, we think that it resets all time, all that relates all in the time. But it's just how TVA uses the bomb. It only resets the time within the area. It doesn't affect anyone else. Time can keep going on the other area, but within the radius of the bomb, it only affects that.
No, I don't think so. I think it reversed the whole thing. It just erased that area. So let's say
that's what I mean. Like what I'm saying, that time still goes on.
But the whole world, the whole universe follows through with the time. So let's say it will delete 5 seconds. It doesn't just erase the 5 seconds in this area. It erased the 5 seconds of
what happened within that.
Yeah, of the whole universe. It just eliminates the bomb. Eliminates whatever residue that's in there.
Well,
you know what I mean?
There's a lot of things that can occur. I mean. That means time. The Minutemen's been very busy because now we know what time the time bomb does. We witnessed it when they turned it on, and for those who have died in that place where they were investigating, it will just delete them.
Yeah.
Now, if we think of that way, I mean, because I think the bomb just only erased that area. It doesn't erase anywhere in the universe.
No, okay, so the bomb doesn't erase time. It erase. So let's say
what's added to the time.
So yes, so in the first episode, right, when Loki ended up in Mongolia,
yes,
the bomb happened. They erased that time and also the people. It doesn't erase the people. It erase the memory of the people and the location where they at. So let's say if they were right here, right, and then Loki ended up here, they walk down here, right.
They just
to look at him, and then the TVA will show up, erase that, and then they will go back
where they were.
Yeah, and then the rest of the universe will just go back on the time what they were doing before, and then do the same thing.
If that's the case, man, that bomb is powerful. Just to be able to teleport something from one to another.
Yeah.
From a bomb. I mean, again, this is a movie. This is great imagination and all that stuff. Not real, but still. If we're trying to make logic to it, trying to connect the dots and lines and how it makes sense, oh man, it's confusing. But it's amazing at the same time. Time, because as you always said, your favorite ability, or you think your most favorite the most powerful ability is time.
So their ability, in layman's term, is not really time. The bomb is not time. It's undo. Like
I guess the undo button.
Yeah,
Control
it's like the undo
and
button.
Control Z.
It's just connected to the time because it goes back to the time, but it's more like an undo. You know what I mean?
But it just undo that area, right?
You undo what added to that area.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
But still, it's amazing. It's things that's out of human capability, but
right. But because I think, because like what happened to them when they went to some places, right? If there's nothing added to that area, so let's say I go to this timeline and nobody sees me, nobody saw me, nothing happened. I was just there for, let's say, an hour or 5 hours or how much long, but nobody saw me go there. I didn't leave any mark or anything, right? They won't reset it.
I wonder how far of the undo it could do.
I think they set it with their bomb. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think they set it with their bomb or the whatever stuff they have
on the device or gadget that's on the bomb.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But
But the going back in time, what Loki asked Mobius, why can't we just go back in time before the attack? That will cause a bigger nexus.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it must be okay. That makes sense now that you explain it. It's better to fix it real time to undo it from there.
Yeah, to undo it from there, right? Because the bomb that they use with that one is different than the bomb that they use for Loki. Because if you think about it, that erases a lot longer than when they used the Loki. Because they have that erase when the first batch came in and got killed by the female Loki, and then the second batch came in and deleted. So the time when the first batch came and then died, stayed there for a long time, and then the second batch will come in and erase it. That's a whole period of time. I don't know, maybe like took them 3 or 4 hours before they got there and tried to solve the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's why the female, the black chick said it only take 3 points more before it reaches past the nexus.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a long time. I think that's what they count. That's what the bomb, or I think what the bomb erase is just that line. So whatever line that goes above the sacred timeline, it erased that. So however long it is, however short it will just delete that part. That whatever affects everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of that scene, it's funny how Loki was really trying to trick them, and then Mobius look at him.
Like he knows.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
You almost got me there. You almost got me
Right.
there. He's lying.
He's lying. Yeah, let's reset this. Come on. I wonder what was he doing? Was he trying to build another nexus?
I don't know. I think he was trying to scheme something for sure. Yeah, but I love that scene because it goes back to how you were saying how their connection are organic. Like they really know how to connect.
That conversation is just it's just crazy. Like him also sitting down and waiting for Mobius. Mobius' answer after he suggested that apocalyptic events. That's where she hides, right?
Right.
And then he came out of the door. Mobius came out of the door, and then Loki's like, like, what? And he's like, all right, let's go. We passed it. Like, yes. That was so organic. That was awesome.
Yes,
like because we know from the MCU timeline, right? The Avengers and then Thor Dark World, Loki was still a serious villain, a serious character until we went to Ragnarok, and that's when it showed like a different version of him,
like more just
yeah,
going with the flow, going with
funnier,
whatever.
Yeah. But with this one, it's like, okay. Well, now you're a little loose. You're a lot looser now.
Yeah, he is a lot looser. That's why I said this character really bothers me. How he's not the same Loki as how MCU built him up to be. But I like it. The new look or the new point of view of how Loki's living his new timeline.
Right. Now another thing that made me think a little bit. So they went to 2050, right, in Alabama.
In the future, that just blew my mind.
Yeah, 2050 Alabama, and there was a hurricane in there, and they went in the mall. The funny thing is, there was still electricity. That I was like, I wonder why there's still electricity, and I was like, oh, maybe because that's their viewpoint of the future.
Speaking of,
there's still gonna be electricity.
Yeah, adding on to that, try to help me understand what was the whole connection between the bubblegum and the future.
Oh, so that bubblegum was created. The company was created during that time.
During In the 2050?
Yeah, that's what the conversation they said, because they looked it up, or I don't know if they looked it up, but they said that it was founded around 2049 till, and then ended like 2070 or something like that. That's why they looked up apocalyptic event that happened during that time.
Oh,
and that's
so
what they
the
found
bubblegum that was in the future.
Yeah,
It wasn't from TVA.
yeah.
It was from.
It's from the future. Yeah,
Mm.
it was made from the future.
Okay, so I guess my thought was a buzz.
What was your theory?
I thought
It was from the
TVA.
TVA. Yeah. It was from the future. That's how they connected all the dots. It's like, okay, so we confirmed that she might be potentially or most likely hiding in apocalyptic events, and then they found the gum, but this gum existed in the future and around this timeline. So now all you have to do is just look up some apocalyptic events that happened, and then they connected the stuff where it was in Alabama. So she would have a limited amount of food, shelter and all that. So all she has to do is just go there, and she has all this food and stuff like that, and then leave before the apocalyptic happened and go somewhere, then go back specifically in that time period before the apocalypse happened. And she still has food. Yeah.
See, it still blows my mind that I guarantee she knows about TVA. I mean, maybe you're right. She was not connected in the sense of partnership, but she has some kind of beef relationship with them.
Or she's just been learning all of these, because because if she's working for the TVA, most likely she would have known where the timekeepers are staying or where they at. But she had to kidnap the dreadlocks chick.
Yeah.
And ask her, because the dreadlock chick said, "Oh, I told Loki
everything."
Everything.
I thought TVA didn't know where the timekeepers were. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
But apparently the Minutemen does. Okay, now, all right. Now I see what you mean. Now my thoughts has been crushed.
That she's from the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most likely maybe she was recruited by the TVA or captured by the TVA. That's why it happened. We know that she was a variant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there was a connection between her and the TVA. We know that from the start. And then she got away, and then she collected all this data, and then that's it.
Then the fact that this chick knows where the timekeepers are, I think it makes her that special. Because even
The
Mobius,
dreadlocks chick?
the dreadlocks chick. Because Mobius nor the wait,
No, they both know.
no, Mobius didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, because when she's talking to Ravina, it's like, so what are they? What are they doing? Not the time I've been working here in TV, I have not met them once. Mobius never met them.
Yeah, met them, but not necessarily. It's like the president of the company. You know where they at in the company, but you've never met them.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Like, say they're
Like,
in the building,
they're in this
they're in the
building.
top floor,
Yeah,
but you've never been there.
Yeah, never been there and never met them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you just know where they're located.
Right.
Maybe that's what happens with all of them. Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah. But that's it. That's it for us. Do
Yeah.
you have anything else?
No, that was
Anything else in your notes?
No, that was it.
Your mega notes?
Making notes.
But so if you enjoyed this podcast, let us know. Put in the comment section if we missed anything or everything. Let us know too if there's any assumptions that we made that you don't agree, or if you agree. Put that in the comment section. We're a little late with this podcast. You might see this right now, and this is after the third episode.
No, I thought the episode comes on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but remember we upload Monday and Thursday. But yeah, so if nothing else, this is the Loki 2. You wanna promote yourself?
You don't want to do what happened yesterday.
Yes. 2 days ago.
Yes, you can find me in Facebook. You can find me in most of social media. It will be under FFX Wakka or FFX Wakka 127. You can find me there in almost, again, Facebook, IG, even LinkedIn, Twitter. And if you do hit me up, just please let me know that you heard me from here. Because I won't answer a random some stranger like, who are you?
Right.
But yeah, that's me.
And I'm CB. He's Wakka, by the way. He didn't introduce himself.
I did.
You guys can find me in the Gum Fam Show. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all that good stuff. You can also find this if you're listening to the podcast. You guys can go to YouTube and find the Maximum Filipino Show. If you're watching this in YouTube and you're like, I want to listen to this again, but because I didn't hear the first part, but I can't watch it because I don't have YouTube Premium, but I just want to listen to it, then go to your favorite podcast, like Spotify, Castbox, and all that, Google Cast, Apple Podcast. Just look for the Maximum Filipino Show. Rate us, like this, subscribe, comment, and tell your friends about this. If they like, Loki, if they like TV shows and movies from subscribe podcast, subscribe apps, let them know, and share, comment, and yeah. And you guys can also email us if you want to be part of some of our podcasts. And you think this is fun, which is really fun. It's fun to talk about some shows and movies that we love to watch. Just email us, the MaximumFilipinoShow@gmail.com, and we will schedule you. I promise, we will even include you. As long as you have a camera and a good microphone, you're there. So yeah, as for me, CB and Wakka, and for the rest of the Maximum Filipino Show gang, we'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Late.
Bye.
Karen.